Amara Jenkins cradled her 6-month-old son boarding a crowded Atlanta flight, her warm smile fading under the icy stare of flight attendant Karen Holt. Expecting a routine trip, Amara froze when Holt slapped her cheek. Snarling, she stole a seat. Her baby's cry echoed as passengers gawked, silent. The slap, filmed, exploded online, shattering Amara's world and sparking a war against a racist airline empire. What would it cost her to fight back? Before we dive in, tell us where you're watching from. If you stand for justice, hit like and subscribe for more gripping stories. Amara Jenkins sat in her dim Atlanta apartment, her 6-month-old son asleep in her arms, the sting of Karen Holt's slap still burning her cheek as her phone buzzed with notifications. The viral video of the assault racking up millions of views. In hours, hashtags like Justice for Amara trending as strangers flooded comment sections with fury, some calling Holt a monster, others cloaked in anonymity, spewing vile slurs that made Amara's stomach churn, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and dread, knowing this moment could change everything or destroy her. Marcus, her husband, paced the room, his jaw tight, eyes glued to his laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard as he dug into SkyVista Airlines' digital trails, his cybersecurity expertise a weapon he vowed to wield, muttering about server logs and encrypted emails, determined to find proof that Holt's act wasn't random but part of something darker. His voice low, promising Amara they'd make the airline pay, his love for her fueling every click. Amara, though shaken, felt a spark of defiance, her years as a community organizer kicking in, pushing her to act, to turn pain into power, so she agreed to speak at a rally outside SkyVista's headquarters, a sprawling glass building that loomed over downtown like a fortress, its logo gleaming under the 90-degree Georgia sun. She dressed in a simple blue blouse, her son cradled in a carrier, and stepped onto a makeshift stage in a park. The crowd of hundreds stretching across the grass, their signs bobbing, voices chanting her name, cameras flashing as she gripped the microphone, her voice trembling at first, then steadying, recounting the slap, the humiliation, the way Holt's eyes burned with hate, her words raw, cutting through the humid air. "I won't let them silence us," she declared, and the crowd roared, fists raised, a wave of solidarity that made her believe, for a moment, they could win. Marcus stood at the edge, watching, his laptop under his arm, pride swelling in his chest. But his hacker's instinct nagged, warning him SkyVista wouldn't fold so easily. Behind the scenes, Victor Caldwell, SkyVista's CEO, sat in his penthouse office, a mahogany desk cluttered with papers, his sharp gray eyes scanning the rally footage on a wall-mounted screen, his lips curling into a sneer, his power rooted in decades of political connections, from Atlanta's City Hall to Washington's elite, a man who viewed Amara as an insect to be crushed, her blackness a threat to his pristine corporate image. Caldwell, in his tailored suit, sipped bourbon, unfazed by the hashtags, and called his PR team, a group of slick operatives who thrived on spin, ordering them to bury the story. His voice cold, precise. "Make her the villain," he said. And they nodded, already crafting a narrative. Within hours, SkyVista issued a statement, denying systemic issues, claiming Holt acted alone, a rogue employee already fired, their words polished, dripping with false regret. But the real blow came at dusk, as Amara returned home, the rally's energy still pulsing through her, only to find her phone lighting up with a new video, one that twisted her gut. Caldwell's team had released doctored footage, grainy but convincing, showing Amara seemingly shoving Holt before the slap, her face edited to look aggressive, her son's carrier swinging wildly, the audio manipulated to include her shouting, insults, a lie so seamless it spread faster than the truth, racking up views as influencers and pundits pounced, calling her a fraud, a grifter, a danger to society, their words laced with racist venom. "She's playing the race card," they sneered. And Amara, watching in horror, felt the world shift, her allies wavering, some texting apologies, others ghosting her entirely. The crowd's cheers faded in her memory as neighbors banged on her door, yelling slurs through the wood, their voices thick with rage. "You liar, get out!" they screamed, and Marcus pulled her close, locking the door, his laptop open as he tried to trace the video's origin. But Amara's hands shook, tears spilling, her son stirring in her lap. The rally's triumph now ashes, her name dragged through the mud, She scrolled through X, seeing her face plastered on memes. Her story twisted into a cautionary tale about angry black women, the hashtags turning against her. Justice for Amara drowned out by Cancel Amara, and she wondered how Caldwell could wield such power, how one man could rewrite her truth. Marcus, his eyes bloodshot, found a digital signature in the video, a clue pointing to Caldwell's personal server, proof the CEO orchestrated the lie. But before he could act, the banging grew louder, glass shattering as a brick sailed through their window, landing inches from her son's crib. The word troublemaker scrawled on it in red paint, a message from Caldwell's world, where black defiance was a crime. Amara clutched her baby, her breath ragged, the crowd's betrayal cutting deeper than the slap, her dream of justice slipping away as Caldwell's shadow loomed larger, his denial not just a defense, but a weapon, aimed at her soul. She looked at Marcus, his face set, promising to fight. But the doctored video's damage was done, the public turning, the city closing in, and Amara felt the weight of a system built to break her. Her rally's fire snuffed out by a lie that burned hotter, leaving her exposed, vulnerable, yet somehow still defiant. Her heart whispering she'd fight again, even as the world screamed she'd already lost. The night stretched on, sirens wailing in the distance, and Amara knew this was only the beginning, Caldwell's game just starting, his next move already in motion, waiting to strike. Amara Jenkins clutched her son in their cramped Atlanta safe house, the brick's red-painted slur still seared in her mind, her heart racing as Marcus hunched over his laptop, his fingers a blur, hacking into Sky Vista Airline's servers under the flicker of a single bulb, his discovery of Victor Caldwell's order to fake the viral video fueling their resolve, a spark of hope in the suffocating dark. But Amara's hands trembled, the public's betrayal a fresh wound, her name now a curse on X. Yet she refused to break, her organizer's spirit pushing her to fight, to sue Sky Vista, to drag Caldwell's empire into the light. She met with Lena Carter, a sharp black lawyer who'd battled corporate giants, her office a fortress of files and coffee stains, promising Amara a winnable case, her confidence contagious as they filed a lawsuit for assault and defamation, demanding millions, the papers a declaration of war against Caldwell's racist machine. Marcus, his eyes bloodshot from sleepless nights, handed Lena encrypted emails, proof Caldwell doctored the footage, each word a nail in Sky Vista's coffin, and Amara felt the tide turning, her chest swelling with possibility, imagining justice, for her son, for every black mother humiliated by hate. The courtroom, a cavern of polished oak and stale air, buzzed with reporters as Amara took the stand, her blue dress crisp, her voice steady despite the 80-degree heat seeping through. The windows recounting the slap, the doctored video, the brick through her window, her eyes locking with the jury, 6 faces softening, one juror nodding, and Judge Harlan Reed, a white man with a kind face, seemed to lean her way, his questions gentle, his rulings fair, letting Marcus's evidence shine, the emails projected on a screen, gasps rippling through, the gallery as Caldwell's lies unraveled, Amara's hopes soaring, believing the system might just this once work for her. She glanced at Marcus in the back, his nod a lifeline, their shared dream of victory so close she could taste it. The jury's murmurs a chorus of promise. But Caldwell, in his penthouse, smirked at a private screen, his bourbon glass sweating, his power not in emails but in shadows, his longtime ally Judge Reed already bought, a briefcase of cash exchanged in a dark parking lot, Caldwell's voice on a burner phone sealing the deal. Dismiss it, he'd said, and Reed, despite his kindly mask, complied. The gavel fell like a guillotine, Reed's voice cold, insufficient evidence, he declared, tossing the case, the jury stunned, Amara's breath catching, her legs buckling as Lena gripped her arm, whispering they'd appeal, but the words drowned. In the roar of defeat, reporters scribbling, Sky Vista's stock ticking up on news tickers, Caldwell's grin invisible but felt, his victory a slap harder than Holt's. Amara stumbled from the courthouse, the noon sun blinding, Marcus pulling her close, their son's carrier heavy between them. But the nightmare wasn't over. Caldwell's retaliation just beginning, his goons already moving, their black van screeching to Amara's old apartment, 3 men in masks smashing windows, spray painting racial slurs across the walls, nigger, liar, leave, the words glowing under a neighbor's live stream, the video racing across X, millions, watching as Amara's home became a battleground. The slurs a public execution of her dignity, her son's future tainted before he could walk. She watched the feed on Marcus's phone, tears falling. Her rallies fire, her courtroom fight, all erased by Caldwell's hand. The system not just failing but attacking. Her blackness a crime in Reed's eyes, in Caldwell's world, where justice was a privilege she'd never touch. Marcus, his voice hoarse, swore he'd hack deeper, find more. But Amara's chest tightened, the slurs echoing, the crowd's cheers from the rally now a mocking memory. Her safe house feeling like a cage, the city a maze of enemies. Yet, as the livestream looped, a new wave of comments surged. Justice for Amara flickering again. Strangers sharing the vandalism video, calling out Caldwell's name, their voices a lifeline, pulling Amara from despair, her organizer's heart. Stirring, whispering she could fight again, could rally, could boycott, could burn Sky Vista's lies to the ground. Hey, if you're raging at Caldwell's corruption, at a system rigged to crush Amara, comment number 1, hit that like button, and subscribe to follow her fight, because this story's heating up, and you won't believe what's next. The suave, vandalism, the dismissal, they lit a fire. But could Amara turn that spark into a blaze big enough to topple Caldwell's empire? Or would his next move bury her for good? Amara Jenkins stood in the shadow of Atlanta's skyline, her 6-month-old son strapped to her chest, the spray-painted slurs on her ruined home still burning in her mind, the courtroom's betrayal a fresh scar. Yet the viral livestream of Caldwell's vandalism had reignited a flicker of public support. Hashtags like Justice for Amara clawing their way back onto X, and she seized that spark, her organizer's heart pounding, launching a boycott of Sky Vista Airlines, her voice hoarse but fierce as she rallied a crowd of thousands outside the airport, their chants shaking the 95-degree air. Signs demanding accountability, travelers ditching Sky Vista tickets, the terminal's chaos a testament to her power, her hopes swelling as she imagined Caldwell's empire cracking, her son's future worth every ounce of fight. Marcus, her rock, worked from a borrowed laptop in a cramped motel, his cybersecurity skills slicing through Sky Vista's defenses, unearthing emails where Caldwell ordered racist policies, one memo sneering about keeping black passengers in. Check. The words acid on Marcus's screen, proof of a rot deeper than Karen Holt's slap, and he leaked them to bloggers, the documents spreading like wildfire, X posts racking up millions of views, Sky Vista's stock plummeting 10 points. In a day, headlines screaming scandal, the boycott's momentum a tidal wave, Amara's name a rallying cry again, her face on protest signs, her speech at the rally raw, tears glinting as she spoke of her son, of a world where he'd be safe, the crowd roaring, "We're with you," their fists raised, a sea of defiance that made her believe for a fleeting moment victory was hers, the system bending. Caldwell's lies exposed, justice within reach. She hugged Marcus that night, their motel room smelling of stale coffee, their son giggling between them, and Marcus whispered they were winning, his eyes bright with pride. But Amara's gut twisted, her years of fighting teaching her power. Like Caldwell's never surrendered, her fear whispering he'd strike back, harder, crueler. And she was right. Victor Caldwell, in his sleek office, his bourbon untouched, watched the boycott's chaos on a dozen screens, his gray eyes narrowing, his political allies on speed dial, his wealth a fortress, his rage a blade, ordering his team to hit Amara where it hurt most, her heart, her legacy, her community center, the brick building where she taught kids, fed families, built hope for Atlanta's black families. Now his target, his plan cold, calculated, unstoppable. Under cover of night, his hired arsonist doused the center with gasoline, the flames erupting, 100-foot inferno lighting the sky, firefighters battling the blaze as Amara, alerted by a frantic call, raced across town, her pickup truck, screeching to a stop, her breath stolen as she saw her life's work collapse. The roof caving, memories of laughter and unity reduced to ash, her son's carrier heavy as she stumbled forward, tears streaming. The crowd of neighbors watching, some weeping, others filming, the live stream racing across X. But Caldwell's cruelty didn't stop there. His traps snapping shut, his men planting evidence, charred flyers with Amara's name, fake texts claiming she'd burned her own center for sympathy. the lie so audacious it took hold. Police sirens wailing as officers, bought by Caldwell's donations, swarmed her, their cuffs cold on her wrists, accusing her of arson. Their voices dripping with contempt. "You thought you'd fool us," one sneered. And Amara, her son handed to a social worker, felt her world implode. The boycott's triumph erased, her name twisted again. The crowd's cheers now accusations. Liar. Fraud. Their words cutting deeper than the courtroom's gavel, the slurs on her walls, the brick through her window. Marcus, blocked by cops, shouted her innocence, his laptop useless against handcuffs, his evidence buried under Caldwell's lies. And Amara, in the back of a squad car, her cheek pressed to the window, saw the center's embers fade, her dreams. With them, the boycott's fire snuffed out by a blaze Caldwell lit. His power not just in money but in breaking her spirit, framing her as the criminal, the black woman who dared defy him. The system rigged to crush her, the public wavering, some still chanting her name, others turning. Ex-post splitting. Justice for Amara versus Amara the arsonist. The hashtags a battlefield. She closed her eyes, her son's face her anchor, her rage simmering, whispering she'd fight even from a cell. But Caldwell's shadow loomed, his sabotage not just a blow but a message. You'll never win. His next move already forming. His wealth a weapon, his hate a promise, and Amara, cuffed, alone, felt the weight of a war she'd barely begun. The boycott surge now a trap. Her freedom the price, her heart screaming for Marcus, for justice, for a world where her son could breathe free. But the squad car's engine roared, carrying her deeper into Caldwell's game, where every step forward was a step toward ruin, every victory a lie, every hope a spark he'd snuff out, or so he thought. Amara Jenkins sat in a cold Atlanta jail cell, her wrists raw from cuffs, the ashes of her community center haunting her, her 6-month-old son's absence a knife in her chest, the false arson charge pinning her as a criminal. But Marcus, her husband, worked tirelessly, his laptop glowing in a dingy motel, his cybersecurity skills tracing digital fingerprints, uncovering a payment trail from Victor Caldwell to the arsonists, proof Amara was framed. His heart racing as he sent the evidence to Lena Carter, their lawyer, who stormed the precinct with a fire in her eyes, demanding Amara's release, her voice cutting through the 80-degree morning. The judge, shamed by the viral vandalism video, forced to comply, and Amara, after 2 sleepless nights, stumbled into Marcus's arms. Her son returned, his tiny hands clutching her tears soaking his onesie, the reunion a fragile light in a world bent on breaking her. Her blackness a target Caldwell wouldn't stop hunting. Yet she refused to hide, her organizer's spirit roaring back, planning a national protest to bury Sky Vista. Her voice hoarse but unbroken as she called allies, her safe house buzzing with supporters, their signs ready, their chants a promise, to shake Caldwell's empire, the boycott's embers flaring again. Amara believing for a moment they could win, her family whole, her fight alive, the evidence against Caldwell a sword in her hand. Marcus, guarding their son, watched her rally plans unfold, his pride mixed with dread, knowing Caldwell's power, his hacks revealing the CEO's ties to media moguls, a network of hate Amara was up against. But the protest grew, thousands, pledging to march, ex-posts surging with justice for Amara, the hashtag a beacon. Amara's face on news feeds, her story reclaiming ground, her hope daring to bloom, the courtroom's betrayal, the center's ashes, not the end, but a spark. Her defiance a flame Caldwell couldn't douse, or so she thought, because Victor Caldwell, in his glass-walled office, his bourbon glass cracking in his grip, watched the protest plans on a hacked feed, his gray eyes glinting, his wealth a war chest, his rage a vow to end Amara, ordering his PR machine, a cabal of spin doctors to unleash a smear campaign, their plan vicious, relentless, flooding airwaves with fabricated stories, doctored photos, fake interviews claiming Amara had a violent past, a staged bar fight, a forged arrest record, lies so vivid they stuck, news anchors parroting them, pundits sneering she's a thug, a danger, playing the race card, their words venom, racist tropes cloaked in concern, and X exploded. Amara, the arsonist trending again, her protest signs vanishing, allies dropping, texts unanswered, the march shrinking to hundreds, The city turning, strangers glaring at Amara in the street, her safe house feeling like a trap, her hope crumbling, the lies a heavier shackle than cuffs. Caldwell's media blitz a public execution, her name poison, her fight faltering. But he wasn't done. His cruelty clawing deeper. His hired thugs targeting Marcus's elderly parents. Their modest Decatur home a sanctuary, now a target. The night falling as a pickup truck screeched to a stop. 3 men in hoods tossing a burning cross onto the lawn. The flames casting shadows. The wood charring, racial slurs scrawled on their mailbox. Go back to Africa. The message a dagger. Marcus's mother screaming. His father dousing the fire with a garden hose. Neighbors filming. The video racing across X. Millions watching Amara's family terrorized. The KKK's ghost revived by Caldwell's hand. His power not just in lies, but in fear, in breaking black families. In reminding Amara her fight cost everyone she loved. Her son, her husband, her parents-in-law, all targets. The protests' spark snuffed out. The safe house a cage. The city a battlefield. Amara's breath shallow, her hands shaking as she held. Marcus, his parents' call replaying, their voices trembling. We're okay, but they weren't. The cross a wound, the slurs a scar. Caldwell's smear a blade, his thugs a fist. His hate a system she couldn't outrun. Yet she looked at her son, his eyes trusting, and felt her rage stir. Her heart whispering, she'd march, she'd fight, even as supporters fled, even as Caldwell's shadow grew. His media empire a wall, his next move lurking, ready to strike. Marcus, his laptop open, traced the thug's payment to Caldwell's shell company. A clue, a weapon. But the cross's flames burned in Amara's mind, her family's safety a price, her protest a gamble, her defiance a dare. The lies louder than her truth, the city's eyes judging, her allies dwindling, her hope a thread. But she clung to it, vowing to march, to scream, to burn Caldwell's lies. Even as his thugs watched, his media spun, his hate tightened its grip. The protest's dawn looming, the fight far from over. Caldwell's next blow already falling. A shadow she couldn't see, a trap she couldn't escape. Or so he believed. Amara Jenkins crouched in a dimly lit Atlanta safe house, her 6-month-old son asleep in a makeshift crib. The image of the burning cross on Marcus's parents' lawn seared into her mind. Victor Caldwell's smear campaign turning her name to mud, her protest dwindling, yet her heart pounded with defiance. Her organizer's spirit refusing to break, clinging to the faint pulse of justice for Amara on X. Her eyes locked on Marcus, his laptop a lifeline, his cybersecurity skills slicing deeper into Sky Vista Airline servers, his fingers trembling as he uncovered a bombshell. Encrypted files linking Caldwell to a racist lobbying group, the American Purity Alliance, their manifesto calling for corporate segregation, their funds bankrolling Sky Vista's expansion, the proof a grenade, and Marcus, his voice hoarse, leaked it to a rogue journalist, the documents hitting X like a lightning strike, posts exploding, millions sharing, federal investigators circling Sky Vista, their probe announced on every news channel, the 85-degree Atlanta air buzzing. With outrage, Amara's hope flickering back, her safe house a war room, allies returning, their texts flooding her phone. We're back, they vowed, and she seized the moment, announcing a rally, her voice raw but electric, calling thousands to a downtown park, her son's carrier tight against her chest, the crowd swelling, signs bobbing, chants shaking the ground. Caldwell must fall, they roared, cameras flashing, the rally a wildfire. Amara's speech a blade cutting through Caldwell's lies. I'm not your villain, I'm your truth, she declared, her words live-streamed, views climbing to 10 million, the crowd's energy a tidal wave. Her heart soaring, believing they'd cornered Caldwell, his empire cracking, the feds closing in, Marcus at her side, his nod a promise, their fight alive. Sky Vista's stock tanking 15 points, headlines screaming corruption. Amara's name a beacon again, her face on protest banners, her story reclaiming the narrative, the smear campaign's venom fading, the cross's flames a memory, justice, so close she could taste it, her son's future a fire in her chest, the rally a triumph or so she thought, Because Victor Caldwell in his penthouse, his bourbon glass steady, watched the rally on a hacked feed, his gray eyes cold, his political allies on a secure line, his wealth a shield, his rage a vow, ordering a strike to end Amara, his team hacking her safe house's location, his contacts in law enforcement primed, framing her as a domestic terrorist, a lie so bold it burned. And at dawn, as Amara planned the rally's next steps, sirens screamed. A SWAT team, tipped by Caldwell, stormed the safe house, their boots pounding, flashbangs bursting, the air thick with smoke. Amara grabbing her son, Marcus shoving them through a back door, their escape a heartbeat from capture, her lungs burning as they fled down a neon-lit alley, the 90-degree heat choking, her son's cries piercing, the raid televised, news choppers circling, anchors parroting Caldwell's lie. Amara Jenkins, armed and dangerous, they warned. The footage painting her as a fugitive, a black woman with a baby, now a threat. The rally's crowd scattering, allies turning, texts stopping, X posts flipping, terrorist Amara trending, the hashtag a guillotine, her hope gutted, the feds, probe forgotten, Caldwell's trap snapping shut, his terrorist label a masterstroke, exploiting racist fears, weaponizing police, shredding her rally's fire, her safe house gone, her allies silent, her name a curse again. Marcus's evidence buried, the lobbying leak a spark snuffed out, Amara's breath ragged, her son heavy in her arms, the alley's shadows her only shield. Caldwell's power not just in money, but in fear, in breaking her, in turning her truth into a lie, her fight into a crime, her blackness into a target, the city a maze of enemies, her heart screaming for her son, for Marcus, for justice. Yet the raid's echo lingered, the SWAT lights flashing. In her mind, the anchor's voice is a chorus, her allies' silence a wound. But she looked at Marcus, his hand gripping hers, his laptop saved, his promise whispered, "We'll keep fighting." And Amara, her rage a ember, vowed to rise, to rally, to burn Caldwell's lies, even as the city hunted her, even as Caldwell's next move loomed, his shadow a storm, his hate a promise, her fight a dare he'd never break, or so she hoped. If you're sick of Caldwell's lies, if you believe Amara's truth deserves a voice, comment number 1, smash that like button, and subscribe to see this fight unfold, because it's about to get wilder. With Amara on the run, her rally crushed, could she find refuge to strike back, or would Caldwell's next betrayal cut deeper than she could survive? Outline 4, flight attendant slaps woman holding baby, then her husband shuts down the airline, v. Amara Jenkins huddled in a shadowy Atlanta church basement, her 6-month-old son clutching her finger, the SWAT raid's smoke still stinging her lungs, the terrorist label on every news channel branding her a fugitive, her rally's fire snuffed out. Yet she found refuge with Pastor Elena Ruiz, a Latina preacher whose sanctuary had sheltered activists for decades, her warm eyes promising safety, her network of volunteers smuggling Amara food and burner phones, their whispers a lifeline, and Amara's heart, battered by Caldwell's lies, dared to hope, her organizer's spirit stirring as Elena mapped a secret plan, a covert network to shield Amara, to rebuild her fight, her church a fortress against Victor Caldwell's reach, or so it seemed, while Marcus, his laptop balanced on a rickety table, hacked deeper into Sky Vista Airlines' systems, his cybersecurity, skills ablaze, targeting their booking platform, his code slipping past firewalls, crashing reservations, flights grounding across the country, Sky Vista's stock plunging another 12 points, headlines screaming chaos, the 90-degree Atlanta heat mirroring the public's fury, X posts reviving justice for Amara, the hashtag a faint pulse, Amara's name flickering back, her story, clawing through the terrorist lie, Elena's volunteers spreading word, rallying supporters, their texts buzzing, "We're still here," and Amara, watching Marcus's screen, felt a surge of triumph, the booking crash a blow to Caldwell's empire, her safe house a war room, Elena's prayers a shield, her son's giggle a spark, believing they were turning the tide, the system cracking, Caldwell's grip slipping, her fight alive, the church's stained glass windows glowing with promise, her hope daring to bloom, the raid's terror fading, justice a step closer, her family a rock, the community a chorus. Or so she thought, because Victor Caldwell in his penthouse, his bourbon glass empty, watched the booking crash on a private feed, his gray eyes glinting, his wealth a war chest, his rage a vow. His spies already working, their cash finding Elena's weakness, a debt from her church's mortgage, a sick sister needing care, and Caldwell, his voice silk on a secure call, offered a deal: betray Amara, save your flock. And Elena, her faith wavering, her heart torn, took the money, her loyalty sold, her betrayal a knife, leaking Amara's location to Caldwell's team, her guilt buried under promises of salvation. And at dusk, as Amara planned a new protest, the church's peace shattered. A mob incited by Caldwell's propaganda stormed the sanctuary, their boots pounding, bricks crashing through windows, racial slurs echoing. Nigger, terrorist, get out. Their voices a storm. The 95-degree evening thick with hate, Amara grabbing her son, Marcus shoving them toward a side exit, Elena's face frozen, her eyes avoiding Amara's, the betrayal a gut punch. The mob's fury a tidal wave, their torches flickering, signs twisted from justice for Amara to burn the terrorist. The livestream racing across X, millions watching the church defiled, Amara's refuge destroyed, her allies scattering, the volunteers fleeing, their texts silent, the community fracturing, Caldwell's lie swallowing her truth, his mob a weapon, his bribe a masterstroke, exploiting racist fears, turning neighbors into enemies, shredding her sanctuary, her hope gutted, the booking crash's triumph erased, Amara's breath ragged, her son heavy in her arms, the church's shadows her only cover, Marcus's laptop saved, his hand gripping hers. But Elena's betrayal cut deeper than the raid, the slurs, the cross, her community a battlefield, her blackness a crime. Caldwell's power not just in money but in division, in breaking her spirit, in turning her allies into traitors, her fight into a trap, the city a maze of hate, her heart screaming for her son, for Marcus, for justice. Yet the mob's chants lingered, the bricks crash a wound, the volunteers silence a scar. But she looked at Marcus, his promise whispered, we'll find another way. And Amara, her rage aflame, vowed to rise, to rally, to burn Caldwell's lies. Even as the mob hunted her, even as Caldwell's next move loomed, his shadow a storm, his hate a promise, her fight a dare he'd never break. Or so she hoped, the church's ruins behind her, the city's eyes judging, her allies gone, her hope a thread, but she clung to it, vowing to fight. Even as Caldwell's spies watched, his propaganda spun, his hate tightened its grip, the next blow already falling, a shadow she couldn't see, a trap she couldn't escape, or so he believed. Amara Jenkins clutched her 6-month-old son in a grimy Atlanta warehouse, the church's shattered windows and Pastor Elena's betrayal. A fresh wound, the mob's slurs echoing in her mind, her fugitive status a chain, yet her heart pounded. With defiance, her eyes on Marcus, her husband whose laptop glowed in the dim light, his cybersecurity skills a lifeline, his fingers racing as he hacked deeper into SkyVista Airline's servers, uncovering a bombshell, encrypted plans for a merger with Pinnacle Enterprises, a conglomerate tied to racist policies, their deal, set to funnel billions into Caldwell's empire, the evidence a torch. And Marcus, his voice cracking, leaked it to a national outlet, the story breaking at dawn. Headlines screaming SkyVista's dirty deal, X posts exploding, justice for Amara surging, millions sharing, public outrage spiking, the 90-degree Atlanta air thick with protests, picket lines forming outside SkyVista's headquarters, their glass facade reflecting a sea of signs, chants shaking the ground. Caldwell must fall, the crowd roared, Amara watching from hiding, her safe house a concrete bunker, her hope flaring, the merger's exposure a blade, her fight alive, supporters returning, their texts flooding her burner phone. We're with you, they vowed. And Amara, her son's tiny hand in hers, felt victory's edge, believing they'd cracked Caldwell's armor, his empire teetering, the mob's hate fading, the terrorist label weakening, her story reclaiming ground, her blackness a fire, not a crime, the warehouse's damp walls a fortress, Marcus's nod a promise, their cause a tidal wave, or so she thought, because Victor Caldwell, in his penthouse, his bourbon glass steady, watched the protests on a private feed, his gray eyes cold, his wealth a war chest, his rage a vow, his team already moving. Their plan brutal, personal, targeting Marcus, the man behind Amara's fight. His hacks a thorn Caldwell couldn't ignore, and at midnight, as Amara slept, her son curled beside her. Caldwell's hired thugs ambushed Marcus outside the warehouse, their black van screeching, 4 men in masks dragging him into an abandoned factory, their fists pounding, his ribs cracking, blood pooling, a camera shoved in his face, Caldwell's voice on a burner phone, record the confession, or die. And Marcus, his vision blurring, his love for Amara a shield, refused. But the blows kept coming, his screams muffled, the thugs breaking his fingers, threatening Amara, her son, and Marcus, his heart shattering, gave in, his voice shaking, recording a false confession. I fabricated the evidence, the merger leak, all lies, the words acid, the video edited, polished, aired on every news channel by morning, the 95-degree heat amplifying the chaos, anchors parroting Caldwell's script. Marcus Jenkins, cybercriminal, Amara's accomplice, their cause a fraud, the footage looping, Marcus's bruised face a lie, X posts flipping, terrorist Amara trending again, the hashtag a guillotine, the merger story buried, protests shrinking, allies ghosting, their texts silent, Amara watching from the warehouse, her phone trembling, the confession, a gut punch, her hope gutted, the public turning, strangers spitting her name, fraud, liar, the words cutting deeper than the mob's bricks, the churches fall, the crosses flames, Caldwell's kidnapping a masterstroke, exploiting racist distrust, shredding their credibility, turning Marcus's truth into a lie, their fight into a crime, Amara's breath ragged, her son heavy, in her arms, the warehouse's shadows her only cover. Marcus dumped in a ditch 10 miles away, his body broken, his laptop gone, his fight stolen, Amara's heart screaming, her blackness a target. Caldwell's power not just in money but in pain, in breaking her family, in turning her husband into a pawn, the city a maze of enemies, the confession's echo lingering, the anchor's voices a chorus, her allies' silence a wound. But she found Marcus, her truck screeching to the ditch, his pulse faint, her tears falling, his promise whispered, "I'm sorry." And Amara, her rage aflame, vowed to rise, to fight, to burn Caldwell's lies, even as the city judged her, even as Caldwell's next move loomed, his shadow a storm, his hate a promise, her fight a dare he'd never break, or so she hoped, the warehouse's walls closing in, the public's eyes condemning, her allies gone, her hope a thread. But she clung to it, vowing to find Marcus's strength, to expose Caldwell, to save her son. Even as the thugs watched, his media spun, his hate tightened its grip. The next blow already falling, a shadow she couldn't see, a trap she couldn't escape. Or so he believed. Amara Jenkins cradled her 6-month-old son in a rusted pickup truck, speeding through Atlanta's outskirts. Marcus slumped beside her, his ribs bruised from Caldwell's thugs, the false confession video looping on every channel, branding him a liar, their fight a fraud, the warehouse's shadows a fading memory. Yet Amara's heart pounded, her organizer's spirit refusing to break, her eyes scanning the horizon, the 90-degree heat blurring the road, her son's fever spiking, his tiny body hot against her, the terrorist label a noose but a lifeline flickered, a Sky Vista whistleblower, Jamal Carter, a black mechanic who'd seen Caldwell's racist memos, texting her a burner number, offering internal documents, proof of Caldwell's crimes, his courage a spark, and Amara, her hands trembling, met him in a deserted gas station, the pumps rusted, the air thick with gasoline, Jamal slipping her a USB drive, his voice low, "This'll bury him," he promised, and Amara, her hope flaring, planned a public expose, a live stream to blast the documents. To millions, her safe house a cramped trailer, Marcus's laptop her weapon, his fingers, though swollen, typing code to secure the broadcast, the documents detailing Caldwell's orders to profile black passengers, to fund hate groups, the evidence a grenade, and Amara, her voice hoarse, recorded a video, her face raw. "I'm not your terrorist, I'm your truth," she declared. The live stream scheduled, X buzzing with whispers, justice for Amara flickering, supporters sharing, thousands pledging to watch, the 95-degree dawn. A promise? Her fight alive, the confessions lie fading, Caldwell's merger crumbling, her story clawing back, her blackness a fire, not a crime. The trailer's tin walls a fortress. Marcus's eyes bright, their cause a tidal wave, believing they'd expose Caldwell. His empire falling, the public turning, justice a heartbeat away. Or so she thought. Because Victor Caldwell, in his penthouse, his bourbon glass steady, watched Amara's plans on a hacked feed, his gray eyes glinting. His wealth, a war chest, his rage a vow. His team already moving, their plan vicious, citywide, launching a manhunt. Caldwell's police allies plastering Amara's face on billboards, wanted, armed, and dangerous. The words a lie. Her image looming over Atlanta, a black mother with a baby, now a threat. His media cronies airing her private emails, stolen, twisted, painting her as unhinged, ranting about conspiracies. The leaks curated, her words warped, news anchors sneering. She's delusional, a danger. Their voices venom. Racist tropes cloaked in concern, and X exploded. Terrorist Amara trending, the hashtag a guillotine. Her exposés buzz drowned, supporters ghosting, their texts silent, the livestream's views stalling, protests clashing, police kettling, crowds, tear gas clouding the 80-degree dusk. Amara's son coughing, his fever climbing, her heart breaking, forcing her to risk exposure, driving to a clinic 10 miles away, her truck weaving through checkpoints, her hood up, her son's cries piercing, the billboard's glare a spotlight, Caldwell's manhunt, a masterstroke exploiting racist fears, weaponizing media, shredding her hope, the USB drive's promise gutted, the trailer's safety gone, her allies silent, her name a curse, Marcus's confession a wound, the city a maze of enemies. The emails sting deeper than the mob's bricks, the churches fall, the crosses, flames. Caldwell's power not just in money but in humiliation, in breaking her spirit, in turning her truth into a lie, her fight into a crime, her blackness into a target, the clinic's fluorescent lights harsh, her son's fever breaking but the TV blaring, her face, her emails, the anchor's voices a chorus, her allies' silence a scar, yet Jamal's USB burned in her pocket, her rage a flame, vowing to rise, to broadcast, to burn Caldwell's lies. Even as the city hunted her, even as Caldwell's next move loomed, his shadow a storm, his hate a promise, her fight a dare he'd never break, or so she hoped. The clinic's walls closing in, the public's eyes condemning, her hope a thread. But she clung to it, vowing to find Marcus's strength, to expose Caldwell, to save her son. Even as the cops watched, his media spun, his hate tightened its grip, the exposé's dawn looming, the fight far from over. Caldwell's next blow already falling, a shadow she couldn't see, a trap she couldn't escape. Or so he believed. If you're furious at Caldwell's manhunt, if you think Amara deserves to be heard, comment number 1, hit that like button, and subscribe to see her fight unfold, because it's about to get crazier. With Amara hunted, her son sick, could a risky ally turn the tide, or would Caldwell's next strike crush her for good? Amara Jenkins shivered in a derelict Atlanta trailer park, her 6-month-old son bundled in her lap, his fever finally broken, the manhunt's billboards still flashing her face across the city, Victor Caldwell's twisted emails poisoning her name, yet the USB drive from Jamal burned in her pocket, its proof of Caldwell's racist crimes a lifeline. Her organizer's heart pounding, refusing to break, and a new ally emerged, Lila Chen, a rogue Sky Vista executive, her sleek bob and sharp, eyes hiding a defector's courage, meeting Amara in a rain-soaked diner, the neon sign buzzing, the 90-degree nightsticky, Lila slipping her internal documents, memos detailing Caldwell's orders to blacklist black employees, to fund hate groups, the papers a dynamite stack, and Amara, her hands trembling, saw a path, her voice hoarse as she planned a new exposé. Marcus, his ribs still aching from the kidnapping, his fingers bandaged but typing, hacking Sky Vista's investor portal, his code crashing their stock, shares plummeting 20 points in hours, Headlines screaming collapse, X posts exploding, justice for Amara surging, millions sharing Lila's documents. Amara's live stream, launching from the trailer, her face raw, her son asleep behind her. "I'm not your fugitive. I'm your fight," she declared, the video racing to 15 million views. The 85-degree dawn of fire. Protests swelling. Picket lines choking Sky Vista's terminals, their glass doors locked, flights grounded, Caldwell's empire buckling, Amara's hopes soaring, believing they'd broken him, the manhunt's grip loosening, the emails' lies fading, her blackness a beacon, not a crime, the trailer's tin walls a fortress, Marcus's eyes bright, their cause a tsunami, Lila's courage a spark, the expose a blade, justice a breath away, or so she thought, because Victor Caldwell, in his penthouse, his bourbon glass cracking, watched the stock crash on a private feed, his gray eyes glinting, his wealth a war chest, his rage a vow, his team already moving, their plan sinister, personal, targeting Lila, her defection a betrayal he'd crush, his spies digging, finding her sister's hospital bills, her daughter's school records, and Caldwell, his voice silk on a secure call, blackmailed Lila. "Pay up or they suffer," he hissed, and Lila, her resolve crumbling, her family her weakness, complied. Her loyalty sold, planting fake documents in Amara's batch, memos blaming Amara for Sky Vista's woes, her signature forged, the lies seamless, and Caldwell's lawyers, sharks in suits, filed a defamation lawsuit, accusing Amara of slander, their court order freezing her bank accounts, the trailer's rent unpaid, eviction looming, the 90-degree heat choking, Amara's phone buzzing, with debt collectors, her son's formula running low, the expose's fire snuffed out, the livestream's views stalling, X posts flipping, Amara the fraud trending, the hashtag a guillotine, supporters ghosting, their texts silent, protests shrinking, police circling the trailer park, their sirens a pulse, Caldwell's lawsuit a masterstroke, exploiting racist economic traps, shredding her hope, the USB drive's promise gutted, the trailer's walls closing in, her allies silent, her name a curse, Marcus's hack a spark extinguished, the stock crash's triumph erased, Amara's breath ragged, her son heavy in her arms, the diner's neon a memory, Lila's betrayal a wound deeper than the manhunt's glare, the confession's lie, the mob's bricks, Caldwell's power not just in money, but in sabotage, in breaking her spirit, in turning her ally into a traitor, her fight into a debt, her blackness into a target, the trailer park's gravel crunching under cop cars, her son's cough a knife, eviction papers taped to the door, her heart screaming, her rage aflame, vowing to rise, to fight, to burn Caldwell's lies, even as hunger gnawed, even as Caldwell's next move loomed, his shadow a storm, his hate a promise, her fight a dare he'd never break. Or so she hoped, the trailer's tin creaking, the public's eyes condemning, her hope a thread, but she clung to it, vowing to find Marcus's strength, to expose Caldwell, to save her son, even as the cops watched, his lawyers spun, his hate tightened its grip, the fight far from over, Caldwell's next blow already falling, a shadow she couldn't see, a trap she couldn't escape. Or so he believed. Amara Jenkins stood in a borrowed Atlanta attic, her 6-month-old son asleep on a cot, the trailer park's eviction notice a fresh scar, her bank accounts frozen by Victor Caldwell's defamation lawsuit, hunger gnawing at her gut. Yet her organizer's heart pounded, refusing to break, her eyes on Marcus, his bandaged fingers typing, his cybersecurity skills a lifeline, hacking Sky Vista Airlines' servers to unearth new evidence, a paper trail of Caldwell's bribes to city officials, the documents a torch, and Amara, her voice hoarse, rallied her last supporters, a ragtag, crew of loyalists, their burner phones buzzing, planning a massive rally, a final stand to broadcast Caldwell's crimes, Marcus rigging a live stream to millions, the 90-degree Atlanta air thick with tension, the attic's wooden beams creaking, her son's tiny breaths a spark, and Amara, her hope flickering, organized the rally in a downtown square, thousands gathering, their signs bobbing, chants shaking the ground, justice for Amara. They roared, the live stream launching, Marcus's hack beaming the bribes to X, posts exploding, 20 million views in hours. Headlines screaming corruption. Sky Vista's board reeling. Their stock crashing another 15 points. Flights grounded. Terminals empty. Caldwell's empire teetering. Amara stepping onto a makeshift stage, her blue dress tattered. Her son in a carrier, her speech raw. "I'm not your enemy, I'm your fight," she declared. The crowd erupting, fists raised, cameras flashing, the 85-degree dusk afire. Her hopes soaring, believing they'd broken Caldwell. His lawsuit, fading, the manhunt's grip loosening. Her blackness a beacon, not a crime. The square a fortress. Marcus's eyes bright. Their cause a tsunami. The rally a blade. Justice a heartbeat away. Or so she thought. Because Victor Caldwell, in his penthouse, his bourbon glass shattered, watched the rally on a private feed, his gray eyes glinting, his wealth a war chest, his rage a vow, his team already moving, their plan lethal, hiring a sniper, a ghost with a rifle, his scope trained on Amara, Caldwell's orders cold. "End her," he hissed. And as Amara spoke, her voice rising, the crowd cheering, a bullet sliced the air, grazing her arm, blood blooming, her scream lost in the chaos, the crowd scattering, sirens wailing. Police, bought by Caldwell, storming the square, their batons swinging, tear gas clouding, the 90-degree night a war zone. Amara clutching her son, Marcus pulling her off the stage, their escape a heartbeat from death, the live stream cutting, X posts flipping, Amara the terrorist trending, the hashtag a guillotine, supporters fleeing, their texts silent, the rally crushed, police kettling hundreds, arresting dozens, news anchors, parroting Caldwell's lie, rally turned riot, Amara to blame, the footage looping, her bloodied arm a lie, the bribes buried, the stock crash forgotten, Caldwell's sniper a masterstroke, exploiting racist fears, weaponizing police, shredding her hope, the rally's fire gutted, the addict's safety gone, her allies silent, her name a curse, Marcus's hack a spark extinguished, the square's chaos a wound deeper than the lawsuit's chains, the manhunt's billboards, the confession's lie. Caldwell's power not just in money but in death, in breaking her spirit, in turning her fight into a target, her blackness into a bullseye, the city a maze of enemies, the bullets sting, lingering, the tear gas choking, her son's cries piercing, her arm throbbing, her heart screaming, her rage aflame, vowing to rise, to fight, to burn Caldwell's lies, even as blood dripped. Even as Caldwell's next move loomed, his shadow a storm, his hate a promise, her fight a dare he'd never break, or so she hoped, the square's rubble behind her, the public's eyes condemning, her hope a thread, but she clung to it, vowing, to find Marcus's strength, to expose Caldwell, to save her son. Even as the cops hunted, his snipers watched, his hate tightened its grip. The fight far from over, Caldwell's next blow already falling, a shadow she couldn't see, a trap she couldn't escape, or so he believed. Amara Jenkins hid in a crumbling Atlanta safe house, her arm bandaged from the sniper's graze, her 6-month-old son's cries echoing, the rally's chaos a fresh wound, Victor Caldwell's police crackdown shattering her supporters. Yet her, organizer's heart pounded, refusing to break, her eyes on Marcus, his bruised body hunched over a stolen laptop, his cybersecurity skills a lifeline. Their last stand planned, a desperate infiltration of Sky Vista Airlines headquarters, a glass fortress downtown, to upload irrefutable evidence, a USB drive, packed with Caldwell's racist memos, bribes, and merger plans, the data a guillotine, and Amara, her voice hoarse, slipped into a janitor's uniform. Her son left with a trusted ally, her heart breaking. The 90-degree night thick with tension, Marcus rigging a backdoor hack, his code slipping past security, their plan a heartbeat from failure. The headquarters lobby gleaming, guards patrolling, cameras blinking. But Amara, her pulse racing, swiped a stolen badge, her sneakers silent on marble, Marcus guiding her via earpiece, his voice steady. "You got this." And she reached the server room. The air chilled, machines humming, her hands trembling as she plugged in the USB. Marcus's hack broadcasting the evidence globally. Memos flashing on X, 25 million views in minutes. Headlines screaming Sky Vista's rot, the 85-degree dawn afire, protests erupting, picket lines choking terminals, Sky Vista's board convening, their suits panicked, voting to oust Caldwell, his stock crashing 30 points, flights canceled, the empire collapsing, Amara's hopes soaring, believing they'd won. The sniper's sting fading, the manhunt's grip loosening, her blackness a beacon, not a crime. The server room a fortress, Marcus's eyes bright, their cause a tsunami, the evidence a blade, justice a breath away. Or so she thought, because Victor Caldwell in his penthouse, his bourbon glass shattered, watched the broadcast on a private feed, his gray eyes glinting, his wealth a war chest, his rage a vow, his fail-safe ready, a doctored video prepared months ago, framing Amara and Marcus as terrorists, fake footage of them planting bombs, their faces clear, the lie seamless, and Caldwell, his voice cold on a secure call, released it, the video hitting every channel, X posts exploding, Amara, the terrorist, trending, the hashtag a guillotine, the evidence buried, protests scattering, allies ghosting, their texts silent, news anchors parroting Caldwell's lie. Jenkins' couple threatens nation, the footage looping, Amara's face a threat, the boards, panic forgotten, the stock crash paused, Caldwell's fail-safe a masterstroke, exploiting racist fears, weaponizing media, shredding her hope, the server room's triumph gutted, the safe house compromised, federal agents, tipped by Caldwell, storming in, their boots pounding, flashbangs, bursting, the 90-degree heat choking, Amara grabbing her son, Marcus shoving them through a back exit, their escape a heartbeat from capture. But the agents seized her son, their hands ripping him from her arms, his screams piercing, a social worker vanishing with him. Amara's heart shattering, her lungs burning, the city a maze of enemies. The videos lie deeper than the sniper's bullet. The lawsuit's chains, the manhunt's billboards, Caldwell's power not just in money but in destruction, in breaking her spirit, in turning her truth into a lie, her fight into a crime, her blackness into a target. The safe house's rubble a wound, the agent's sirens a chorus, her allies, silence a scar, but Marcus, his hand gripping hers, his laptop saved, his promise whispered, "We'll get him back." And Amara, her rage aflame, vowed to rise, to fight, to burn Caldwell's lies, even as her son's cries echoed, even as Caldwell's next move loomed, his shadow a storm, his hate a promise, her fight a dare he'd never break. Or so she hoped, the city's eyes condemning, her hope a thread, but she clung to it vowing, to find her son, to expose Caldwell, to end this. Even as the feds hunted, his video spun, his hate tightened its grip, the fight far from over. Caldwell's next blow already falling, a shadow she couldn't see, a trap she couldn't escape, or so he believed. Amara Jenkins stood in a cold Atlanta alley, her heart shattered, her 6-month-old son ripped from her arms by federal agents, Victor Caldwell's terrorist video looping on every screen, branding her and Marcus criminals, Sky Vista's collapse, a fleeting victory. The safe house raid a fresh wound, yet her organizer's spirit refused to break. Her eyes on Marcus, his bruised body leaning against a dumpster, his laptop clutched tight, his cybersecurity skills their last weapon, and Amara, her voice hoarse, made a gut-wrenching choice, surrendering to clear their names, her hands raised, the 90-degree night thick with tension, agents swarming, cuffs snapping, her son's cries echoing in her mind. Marcus beside her, his promise whispered, "We'll get him back." And the city, a maze of enemies, watched as they were led to a precinct, the 85-degree dawn of fire, their fight hanging by a thread. But Amara's rage burned, vowing to expose Caldwell, to end his empire, to save her son. The precinct's fluorescent lights harsh, their lawyer, Lena Carter, storming in, her files a shield, demanding a televised trial, her voice cutting through the chaos. The judge, shamed by ex-post reviving justice for Amara, agreeing, the courtroom a battleground, cameras rolling, millions tuning in, Amara taking the stand, her blue dress torn, her arm bandaged, her testimony raw. "I'm not your terrorist. I'm a mother," she declared, recounting the slap, the vandalism, the sniper, the lies, her voice cracking, tears falling, the jury leaning forward, 6 faces softening, Marcus's hacked evidence, a cascade of memos, bribes, and merger plans projected on a screen, gasps rippling, Caldwell's network exposed, senators named, CEOs implicated. The American Purity Alliance unmasked. X posts exploding. 30 million views. Headlines screaming conspiracy. Sky Vista's board dissolving. Their stock worthless. Protests choking. Atlanta's streets, the 90-degree heat a furnace. Amara's hopes soaring, believing they'd won. Her son's return a heartbeat away. The terrorist label fading. Her blackness a beacon, not a crime. The courtroom a fortress. Lena's arguments a blade, justice unfolding. And Caldwell, in a holding cell, his gray eyes glinting, watched the trial on a smuggled feed. His wealth battered, his empire ash, yet his rage a vow, his failsafe a shadow, and the gavel fell, Caldwell convicted. Sentenced to decades, agents returning Amara's son, his tiny arms around her, her tears soaking his hair, Marcus's hand on hers, the crowd outside chanting, Amara, Amara, the trial a triumph. The city's eyes turning, supporters flooding. Justice for Amara a tidal wave. Her story a flame. The sniper's sting. The manhunt's billboards. The lawsuit's chains erased. Her family whole. Her fight a victory, or so it seemed. Because the twist hit. A news alert breaking. Caldwell, from prison, funneling millions through proxies, funding a new racist conglomerate, Vanguard rising. Their manifesto echoing the Purity Alliance. Their board anonymous, their power growing. His voice on a leaked call. "I'm not done," he hissed, vowing revenge. The screen fading. X post spiking. Amara, the target trending. The hashtag a warning. Her hope gutted. The courtroom's fire dimming. The city a battlefield. Caldwell's shadow a storm. His hate a promise. Exploiting racist roots. Weaponizing wealth. Shredding her victory. The reunion's joy a wound. Her son's safety a thread. The agent's eyes lingering. The public's cheers fading. Her allies' texts cautious. But Amara, her scars a map, stood tall. Her testimony a spark. Vowing to fight. To expose Vanguard. To protect her son. Her voice raw. "I'm not your victim. I'm your resistance," she told Marcus. His nod a lifeline. Their safe house gone. Their fight reborn. The city's streets a maze. The trial's echo a chorus. Her blackness a target. Caldwell's power not in bars but in systems. In breaking her spirit. In turning her truth into a threat. Her victory into a war. Yet she looked at her son, his eyes trusting. Her rage a flame, vowing to rise, to rally, to burn Caldwell's lies. Even as Vanguard loomed, even as his proxies watched, his hate tightened its grip. The fight far from over. Her hope a spark, but she clung to it. Vowing to lead, to inspire, to end this, the city's eyes watching. Her scars a testament, her story a dare. Justice bittersweet, the battle just beginning. Caldwell's shadow a challenge she'd never flee, or so she swore. Amara Jenkins's journey in this gripping tale reveals profound lessons about resilience and systemic racism's relentless grip. First, it shows that individual courage, like Amara's defiance against Victor Caldwell's empire, can spark change, even when the odds seem insurmountable. Her refusal to break, despite assaults, betrayals, and a sniper's bullet, teaches us that inner strength fuels resistance, a beacon for anyone facing injustice. Second, the story exposes how racism, embedded in institutions like courts and media, amplifies personal attacks, turning Amara's truth into lies through doctored videos and manhunts. This underscores the need to question narratives and seek truth beyond headlines. Third, Marcus's hacks highlight technology's power as a tool for justice, reminding us that skills, when wielded ethically, can topple corrupt systems. Yet, Caldwell's prison scheme, launching Vanguard Rising, warns that victories are fleeting. Systemic racism evolves, demanding constant vigilance. Finally, Amara's bittersweet triumph, reuniting with her son but facing a new threat, teaches that justice is a marathon, not a sprint, requiring collective action to dismantle entrenched hate. Her story inspires us to stand up, speak out, and support those fighting oppression. What injustice have you seen that needs a voice? Comment below. Hit like, subscribe, and share to amplify racism stories like Amara's. Thank you for joining this journey. May you find courage to fight for a world where every mother's love is honored, every truth heard.